What's up, you guys? How y'all doing? I have returned for that recap video I spoke of the University of Hawaiʻi Softball team. It was their first homestand of the season. It was 3 games on March 22nd and 23rd. A single game on March 22nd and a doubleheader on the 23rd. So before I get to that, folks, just remember, subscribe. That's how my channel grows. I have been losing some subscribers at all. I'm not sure if YouTube's doing something about it, but still, I'm closing in on 10,700 subscribers, and I want to get to 11,000, and the only way I can do that is with your help. And I'll still be posting videos every single day, just about, and I'll make a note to do that. So anyway, guys, subscribe, and I'm going to put up my banner here, and let's get into this. There you can see by my banner, UH Softball takes all 3 games. I'm going to talk about the first one first. The first game, that was the game on the 22nd. And as you're seeing on this graphic here, the score was 11-2 in favor of the University of Hawaiʻi. As you can tell by my banner here, I just gave the score of the first one. That was actually pretty much a stress-free game. And CSUN began with 2 home runs right away from Shaylin Watman and Lulu Sanchez. And I actually was thinking that CSUN came to play immediately. And as a result, they were up 2-0 early. However, those 2 home runs were the only times that CSUN scored in the entire game. That actually took me by surprise a little bit, because, and pleasantly, of course, too, because the University of Hawaiʻi did very well in stopping every attempt that CSUN had to score. Now, granted, CSUN does have one of UH's own on their roster, and that's Jaden Nielsen. And fortunately, I'm going to talk about her in a little bit, because she didn't. I'm going to talk about her in a little later, because Jaden Nielsen didn't see any time on the court, or excuse me, on the field at all, because of course she's a shortstop and the pinch runner. And she was on the University of Hawaiʻi. She ended up transferring to CSUN. There's definitely no animosity or any mixed feelings at all between UH and Jaden Nielsen. And of course I did come through asking that. Not sure if I really should have. But then again, you do also hear little horror stories about some transfers that do end up kind of ruffling feathers, like what I talked about with Jane Croson on the University of Hawaiʻi of the Rainbow Wahine volleyball team. She ended up transferring to Arizona. Arizona was actually supposed to face off against University of Hawaiʻi, but because Jane Croson had some friction between them and the coaching staff, or UH and the coaching staff, Croson was benched for that trip. Obviously, I would give this game an A for sure. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to pull up the box score. But when UH had their turn, they were ready in that first game. And CSUN, they've yet to win a conference game. They're now 0-6 after that 3-game series, especially last season when they looked really good. They were around the 3rd, 4th place. And UH ended up losing Dallas Millwood at the start of last season due to an injury. But fortunately, she said she's coming back. She had a redshirt option. And of course, she is listed as a redshirt senior. This one actually turned out to be a 5-inning game, because the mercy rule applies if you are in the lead by 8 runs or more after the 5th inning. In the first inning alone, UH ended up scoring 5 runs alone. And they were all and they were all, of course, they were all from UH. The first one actually was from Kaenakili, Inouye, and the second was from a walk from Dallas Millwood herself. And the third one, this all came in the first inning. These first 5 runs I'm talking about. Haley Johnson would score the next one, thanks to an RBI from Chloe Borges. And then Dallas Millwood would score next, thanks to Mailea Bethia. And of course, in the second, this was actually only 2 runs logged, or actually 1 run logged. And the only one who got that was Kaylee Inouye, which was unearned. But this one here in the third from Mason Gibbs was also one of those runs where if you're out on the mound, or I should say out on the diamond, and you're out on one of the bases, this was one of those runs where you're actually glad that you got it when you did, because Mason Gibbs ended up making it to third, and then she got the run after the catcher missed the catch. After the catcher missed the ball, and Gibbs was able to come running home. And that would be classified as a wild pitch. Okay? But in the fourth inning was where everybody came to life. Why? These 2 home runs from Maya Nakamura and Mailea Bethia. Take a look at these.
Number 12, Maya Nakamura.
Now, I got to tell you, that first home run from Mailea Bethia, or I should say Maya Nakamura, rather, I'm pretty much convinced that if Maya Nakamura hits it out of the park, I'm very much convinced that that's what she does.
Number 12, Maya Nakamura.
Okay, you know, Bernardo da Silva talked about Javon McClanahan hitting all those buzzer beaters on the basketball team, and he was saying that that's pretty much what Javon does. And I couldn't agree more. And anytime Maya Nakamura hits it out of the park, I'm convinced that that's what she does. Okay, same goes for Mailea Bethia, just about. And Dallas Millwood, anytime she hits it out of the park, I'm just about convinced that that's what she does, because she gives that little spark that, not a lot of people would really see unless you were really there. But still, I'm glad that Dallas Millwood was able to come back this season, because if they had lost her for last season and she wasn't able to return, that would have been a huge loss for the Rainbow Wahine softball team for sure. And of course, Nakamura's home run drove in Piper Neri, one of the pinch runners. And when Mayalia Bethia hit the home run, she drove in Chloe Borges herself. And as a result, it was 11-2, and the mercy rule applied after CSUN came up scoreless in the 5th. So I would definitely give that game an A+. And here's what Haley Johnson had to say about it, because it was also a special day for her, too. Take a listen to this.
It's my birthday.
Oh, yeah, other than that.
Yeah, I mean, I always have to have faith in myself and have to have faith that, you know, God will put me in the right direction, and just have faith that I'm going to hit the ball and see ball, hit ball.
Yep, that's right. So obviously it was a happy birthday to Haley Johnson, of course. And I'm glad that she was able to have a birthday to remember, for sure. You know, sometimes when it's your night, it's your night. And that certainly was the same. That certainly held true for Haley. And as we get to this, and of course, as we talk about the second game, the second and third games, which was the doubleheader on Saturday, the 23rd, I would definitely give those games an A as well. I might have said A+, or in fact, I did say A+ earlier. I would say an A for the doubleheader games. But this one, the doubleheader, certainly proved to be two games that kind of made for some uncomfortable feelings, mainly because UH was able to come out with the lead and they were able to still hold on. Because in the first game, UH, as you can see on the score here, UH won 5-4. Okay? But this one definitely got close, as I said earlier. It took until the 4th inning for somebody to score some runs. And fortunately, who drew first blood? University of Hawaiʻi. And that was because of none other than Maya Nakamura. And in fact, that first game was also a case of home runs, because that's how UH scored all their runs. Maya Nakamura hit a solo home run, and you just saw that. The second one was another solo home run from Chloe Borges. And the third one was the big one of all, a triple home run from Kaena Keli'inoi. And that took me by surprise, because did I have a feeling that Kaena was going to hit some home runs? Yes and no, really. Because did I think she could do it? Certainly. I think anybody on this team can hit a home run, and anybody who's at bat anyway. Because really, if Dallas Milwa can hit several home runs, if she can hit a grand slam, Haley Johnson's hit a grand slam before, Maia Bethia even hit a grand slam as well. And last season, Isabella Martinez hit a grand slam of her own against UC Riverside. And while some of them and whoever hits those home runs may or may not be a surprise to some people. And while I'm convinced that some of those girls who do hit home runs, it's what they do, it's still a big surprise when they do it. Still a pleasant surprise, that's for sure. Because still, some may not be surprised, but I'm one of those people who is surprised. And of course, in softball, it may or may not take a lot of convincing for me to say that, hey, that if you hit a home run, hey, that's what you do. And especially because I told Maya Nakamura that anytime, I even asked her if she feels like that's what she does. And I guess she kind of felt that. I guess she kind of felt a similar way too when I asked her after the UConn New Mexico doubleheader, the first one anyway. But still, anyway, back to this one. Why did this one get close? Because in the 6th inning, that started with a Karis Murakami, and she's a local girl too, and she ended up playing for CSUN, unfortunately. But still, that was because of a walk, an RBI walk that brought in Reagan Jackson. And Mia Cortez hits an RBI single that allowed Alexis Landeros to score. And then Shaylin Wadman hits a single to left field that allows Murakami and Gustin to score. I believe Kennedy Gustin, I should say. I'm also looking at the roster. But fortunately, the University of Hawaii efficiently answered to keep CSUN from getting any closer. And I thought that was really clutch on their part. They were able to get out of a jam after a strikeout. You can also see my recap down below. And, of course, I will include links to both the single game and the doubleheader. So now the third game, which is the rubber match, as some people would call it, this one also turned out to be a bit of a stressor as well, because UH scored first thanks to Haley Johnson off of Chloe Borges' RBI. And Chloe Borges was certainly the one who really kind of carried the flag in the second game as well. And fortunately for the University of Hawaii, CSUN could only get a single home run from San Pedro. That's Mackenzie San Pedro. I'm also looking at the box score. That's why you can also kind of see me looking away. But still, I'm also trying, but still, hey, whatever. I mean, still, this team, UH won, and that's the main thing. They won 4-1, as you can see right here. So, who was able to score first? It was Chloe Borges Haley Johnson via Chloe Borges. That was the first run of the game. And then Chloe Borges pretty much put the game away in the 6th inning when she hit a double home run that drove in Dallas Millwood.
Chloe Borges, home run.
And of course, here's what Chloe Borges also had to say about that game. If her stress levels were going through the roof.
Yeah, extremely. They went up. As soon as we got runners on, I get anxious, but I know my team has my back, and they're going to make some plays that I need.
Now, earlier on, I had also mentioned that UH had lost one of their own to CSUN, and that's Jaden Nielsen. And, of course, I did mention that, of course, some transfers, they can ruffle some feathers. But fortunately, none of that ever took place between Jaden Nielsen and University of Hawaii. But, of course, Jaden Nielsen being from Cerritos, California, you can't really blame her for transferring. Brianna Lopez is also a Cali girl. She ended up transferring to Ole Miss. And earlier in the season, UH ended up going against Ole Miss, and they got their butts whooped. And Lopez, that's where she transferred to, Ole Miss, like I said earlier. But still, I don't think any feathers were ruffled at all. And here's what Borges also had to say about Jaden Nielsen, because obviously no feathers were ruffled, and I definitely knew that there was definitely no animosity at all. Take a listen to this.
Oh no, definitely not. The girl was happy. We're happy for her. By all means, I'm super glad that she found somewhere that felt like home.
Still one of you guys, no matter what.
Of course, yeah. She came and said hi. Super great kid. Absolutely love her.
Yep, once a Wahine, always a Wahine, for sure. Always a Rainbow Wahine. Just to clarify, of course. But still, of course, it is a shame that Jaden Nielsen ended up transferring to CSUN. But still, she's one of us. She's one of the Wahine for sure, I should say. And of course, they all got nothing but love for her, and that's a good thing. I mean, and that's always good to hear, because you never want to hear about some players that do transfer and then end up ruffling any feathers, like I talked about with Jane Croson in a prior video, which is also why I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with the transfer portal, because you lose good players, but at the same time, you do pick up some good ones as well, as head coach Iran Ganat said of the basketball team. So obviously, I would give that game an A, another A as well, because UH was able to come through in the clutch thanks to Chloe Borges in the second game. But everybody really made a big contribution in every single game, whether they scored or not. That's just the way it is. I mean, softball is really wide open. And of course, they got 20 runs total when you add up all three games, 11 in the first one, 5 in the second one, and 4 in the third. Whereas in contrast, CSUN, they got 2 runs in the first game. Then they got 4 in the second. That's 6 total. And then 1 in the third game. And that's 7 runs total. We got them 20-7. So I'm happy about that for sure. So obviously, this 3-0 series was certainly long awaited. And it was the first one that UH had since the final homestand of 2022 against Cal State Fullerton. They would win the first game 1-0. Then they would win the second one 13-11 in 8 innings thanks to Dallas Millwood. And they would win the third match 2-0. So hopefully UH can take this momentum on the road to UC San Diego. Will you see a recap of that game? No, because that game won't be televised. And anyway, the next homestand will be against Cal Poly. That'll be in 2 weeks. So you'll see a recap there. So anyway, guys, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. And remember, subscribe. That's how my channel grows. I want to keep my monetization status. And I'll see you all for the next recap video, because you'll only see recaps for the home games. So thanks, guys. Subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Malama Pono, folks.